ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। Location does not matter. Think about it. Bhishmacharya, what was his situation? He was lying down in the bed of arrows. When we look at all the movies or photographs, what happens is they show as if there is a nicely made bed and Bhishma Pitama is lying on top of that bed. That was not the case. What was the actual situation? Arjuna pierced Bhishma Pitama with hundreds of arrows which went through his body. And when all the arrows pierced him, he was pushed down and the pierced arrows became his bed. So he was, on the arrows which pierced him. Blood was oozing throughout his body. At that point of time, after several days of being in such state, being in the location where so many have died, the war was going on, and that is the ambience in which he is there, what happens? Bhagavan Sri Krishna, along with Pandavas, many others, and Yudhishthira come approach Bhishma Pitama. And Yudhishthira wants a few of his questions to be clarified. So he's asking, what is the best dharma that you know of? Now, think about it. If we are in that situation, we have a slight headache, and somebody comes to ask us a few questions like this. We are like, no, I have a headache. Can we discuss about this later? This is not the right time, right? But now, Yudhishthira is coming. He's approaching Bhishma Pitama, who is towards the end of his lifetime, who's pierced with arrows, who's, in full of pain. He's even refused to eat something because he does not want anything from outside to come into the, place where the Yuddha is going on. So at that point, Yudhishthira is asking, Kimekam Devatam Loke? Who's that one supreme God? Who's the highest goal in life? Whose auspicious qualities should we praise? Which is the best dharma of all the dharmas? What is something which can be done to help us get released from the cycles of births and deaths? So these kind of questions are asked. 6 different questions are asked. So the answer to all this given by Bhishma Pitama was the 1,000 names of Bhagavan. Sahasranama was given to answer these questions of Yudhishthira. So that was the birth of Sahasranama. Pain was not a reason not to say this. Location was not the reason to say this. What do we do when we recite the name? In fact, Bhishma Pitama in this sloka itself gives the answer. In the beginning of the Sahasranama, there is one sloka which says, Yani namani gaunani vikyatani mahatmanaha rishi bipparigitani tani vakshami bhutaye. So this is Yani namani gaunani vikyatani mahatmanaha rishibihi parigitani. So I am not inventing these names, Bhishma Pitama says. He says, these are the names which was handed over by all these rishis. All these are based on the qualities of Bhagavan. Yani, namani, gaunani. Gauna means guna suchaka nama. The names which tell about the qualities of Bhagavan. Gauna. So I'm going to tell you the names which show us the qualities of Bhagavan. So when you contemplate on the qualities of Bhagavan and keep repeating his names, that is the best dharma that is possible. Okay, so he says, because Bhagavan's qualities are innumerable, the names are also innumerable. There is no limit for the number of names, just like the number of qualities of Bhagavan. But I am going to tell you just 1,000 from that list. So just 1,000 he's picking up and he's giving it to us. And these are the names given by the rishis. Now, Swami Nammalvar has told us that each of this name is equivalent to 1,000 names. Every name in Sahasranama is equal to 1,000 names. We say, right? Sri Rama 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 iti. So these three names is equal to Sahasranama Tattulyam. Sri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame. Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varane. So these three names are equal to 1,000 names. Swami Nammalvar says, pick any name. Every name of Bhagavan in Sahasranama is equivalent to 1,000 names. So those 1,000 names just multiplies, right? So we just have to contemplate on these qualities of Bhagavan so that in our mind, in our words, in our actions, everything, Bhagavan is there. So this is one main reason why we keep repeating Bhagavan's name. So the next important question is, there are so many words. What is so unique about using the name of Bhagavan? You know, this is just vocabulary, right? What is there in just a particular name? Ra and Ma, you combine, you get Rama. So why should Rama be a unique name? Why should Krishna be a unique name? In today's technological world, people ask these questions. We can understand a lot of things because of technology also today. Okay. Think about it. I have a Alexa at home. I have a Google Home. Before I want to ask any question, what should I do? I should just say, Alexa, what is the weather now? Immediately, she's starting to react. She started to react now. Alexa, stop. So, the moment we prefix it with a particular word, the word reacts. The voice-activated device reacts. So, when we say, okay, Google, Google reacts, right? So, why can't I use any other word? Why is not having a reaction? That is the way it is made. It is configured in such a way that this particular word has these reactions. Similarly, our rishis have configured a few words for Bhagavan. Bhagavan waits for these words to be heard so that he will respond. When Bhagavan hears these words, he responds. So, Yani Namani Gaunani, these are compiled together and given to us in a platter, saying that these words will give you the responses that you want. So we can understand it even with the technology now. If we go through that entire Sahasranama, the penultimate sloka tells us what these words can do to us. Artha Vishanna Shitilascha Bhitaha Goreshu cha Vyadishu Vartamanaha Sankirtya Narayana Shabda Matram Vimukta Dukkha Sukhino Bhavanti. So, who all will feel relieved? It is mentioned, he who is worried, he who is sad, broken, afraid, severely ill. So, if he thinks everything negative is happening to him, just sing Narayana, that Shabda Matram. Everything, all the problems, will be relieved and he will have happiness, it says. So, these kind of beautiful results are there for Bhagavan's Nama. So now we recite Bhagavan's name. In fact, if you just think about it, in Bhagavad Gita, I've touched so much about Sahasranama. Sahasranama and Bhagavad Gita are the two eyes. So in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is now in, Kurukshetra Yuddha Bhumi. At that point of time, so many key things regarding why Arjuna should do his duty is mentioned. Bhagavan uses a beautiful sloka there to explain the significance of contemplating on Bhagavan and repeating his names. Can you think about it? Even in Bhagavad Gita, the importance of Nama Sankirtana is mentioned, which is very, very interesting. In fact, this is in the 10th chapter where Bhagavan says, Matchitta Madgata Prana Bodhayantah Parapparam Katayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. In fact, this is about all of us, what we are doing right now. What Bhagavan says is, Matchitta, people think about me. Madgata Prana, the purpose of life is me. They've given their life for me. Bodhayantah Parapparam. They keep explaining or discussing with each other about Bhagavan, his qualities. Machitta, they have me in their mind. They have done Sharanagati, offered themselves their life to me. And they always keep discussing about my Leelas. You know, Bhagavan did this, Bhagavan did that. They always keep discussing about this. Bodhayanta Paraparam. Katayantascha Mam Nityam. This is not a one-off situation. If they meet, the common topic of discussion is Krishna. It's like the Gopikas. The Gopikas meet. What can be common? It is about Krishna, right? So, Katayantascha Mam Nityam. And what happens as a consequence of it? Tushyan teacher, Raman teacher. They are so pleased after discussing about Bhagavan, and they are so immersed and they are filled with happiness because of this. Raman teacher. So, this is the way we are supposed to lead life according to Bhagavan Krishna. Okay, always discuss Bhagavan, always think about him, always contemplate about him.